integer values. The program should then use the 3 threads to perform the following instructions. Thread 1 will be used to calculate the maximum value. Thread 2 will be used to calculate the minimum value, and thread 3 will be used to calculate the average. After all these threads have been compiled, they have completed their calculations, the program will then display the results in the main thread. We will be using mutexes in threads. So mutexes will be used in threads to ensure that only one thread can access a shared resource or a critical section of the code at a single time, so that the data is not interrupted by other threads. It is important for maintaining consistency and preventing race conditions in terms of when heavy critical data sections. Now we will open the terminal application in the file. So right, as you can see, at first we have included libraries, and then we have created used in the program. It includes 3 integer variables to 5. So right, as you can see, at first we have included libraries, and then we have created shared data structures. Structure used in the program. It includes 3 integer variables to store the 3 numbers entered from the user, as well as maximum and minimum and average values. Additionally, there is a mutex to ensure that the shared data is accessed safely by the threads. From there, we are asking for the user to input their in the main function. We are asking the user to enter their 3 integers, and then we are saving it as num1, num2 and num3 respectively. The main function initializes the shared data structure and creates 3 threads, one for finding the maximum value, one for finding the minimum value, and one for calculating the average value. Each thread is responsible for updating the corresponding result in the shared data structures. So thread 1, as you can see, it is being commented. So we have also initialized error handling mechanisms in here. So suppose if any of the threads has encountered any errors, we will simply print out error creating thread 1. So 1 or 2 or 3. So it will be easier for us to debug our codes when the threads are interrupted. We have also used mutex. Since mutexes are used in threads to ensure that only one thread can access a shared resource or a critical section of the code, as we have covered in our lectures as well. This is important for maintaining data consistency and preventing race conditions in this case, where the outcome of the program depends on the timing of the uncontrollable events. From there, we are waiting for all the threads to finish, and then using mutexes, we are destroying the mutexes, and then finally printing the output of the program in a main thread. Following that, we have also structured our program in such a way that after the main function finishes, we have defined our functions. So first function that we have defined is find max. Normally when data is entered, num1 is assumed to be the maximum value. Following that, what we do is compare num1 and num2. If num2 is greater than num1, then num2 is assigned the position of maximum. And then after that we compare num2 and num3. If num3 is greater than num2, then now maximum value changes from num2 to num1. If no, then it remains to num2, and then we retain the maximum value to the main function. You can see in that whatever I have explained. The find max function compares three numbers to find the maximum value. And then just to keep in mind that after creating the threads, the main function waits for all threads to finish using the pthread join and then destroys the mutex. Now onto the minimum function. It works as the maximum function works. So however in this case it compares if num1 is it just assigns num1 as the minimum value and then compares num1 and num2, and if num2 is smaller than num1, then num2 is assigned as the minimum value, and then num2 and num3 is compared, and if num3 is smaller than num2, then num3 is assigned the minimum value. Following that, we also have defined the function that calculates the average. So average is basically the sum of the data entered by the user divided by 3. Since we only allow three integers to be entered by the user. So we will now try to compile our program, and then control O and then control enter and control X. So now we will compile our program GCC, and then the file name which is CS311 in this case underscore I1 underscore Q2 underscore B dot C and minus O, and then I1 Q2B, so that it is easier for us to remember. I1 for assignment 1, Q2 for question 2, and B for part B. Enter. We can now see that our program has been successfully compiled. Now we will try to execute our program. So it is /I1 Q2B. So I will now allow the user to, it now allows the user to enter 3 integers. So we will try to enter 21. We need for the next we need to enter, for example, I want to enter 32, so we need to provide a space between the integers. However, if I try to enter it with 21, so the program will assume that it's 2132 instead of 21 and 32. So we need to provide a space so that the computer program can understand. So there you go. Your maximum value was 45, minimum was 21, and then the average is the sum of the values. So thank you for watching.